Hey everybody, Alisa Crimaldi with Crimaldi and Associates in RentSWFL, Florida, and I'm here today to give you 5 things to prepare for your new unfurnished rental. But before we get started, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel and press the little doorbell thingy so that way you get the notifications every time that we publish another great video so you stay up to date on the current topics. All right, so let's get started. 5 things that you need to know when preparing for your new unfurnished rental. So obviously, if you're renting it unfurnished, we're aiming for an annual tenant, right? So that would be somebody that's going to bring all their furniture, they're going to move right in, they're going to take over the utilities and everything. All right, so number 1 is timing. So we have to stay on top of what is that delivery date for your new unfurnished unit, right? So do not go by what is on your contract. So if it says estimated delivery date is November 30th, for example. Well, that's estimated. Your mind, when you look at that, you're going to think that means that's exactly what it is. If you were buying a resale, then that would be what it would be. So you could plan accordingly. But if you're buying new construction, it's an estimate and that could totally change. So where that can bite you is if you look at that, it says November 30th, you got a tenant lined up, we're all ready to go. They're going to move in December 10th, right? Well, if that home isn't ready, then you're going to put yourself into quite a predicament if you pre-leased it, because now that person's not going to have anywhere to live. They're going to be livid, and guess what? There is no repercussions on the developer. There's no way. They're not going to compensate you for putting that person in a hotel, for giving them their money back and like whatever damages, their moving expenses, whatever it is, whatever that disaster is that's cooking over there. The developer's not going to have any part of it. So you want to make sure that you stay on top of the timing and don't just go by what your contract says, what your new home consultant says, because they tell you what the information that they have, but that might not be exactly accurate because there's so many variables, like the trade partners. You know, are they showing up? Are they showing up on time? Are there delays? Are there material delays? There's all sorts of stuff. So even if they look in the computer and it says November 30th, that could be 1,000% wrong. So just take that information with a grain of salt and make sure that you're staying on top of looking at the progress of the unit. Because I would say once cabinets and tile are in, then that's whenever you can feel more comfortable about the actual closing date. You know, generally, I want to say it's probably 8 to 12 weeks from the time that happens. It varies by builder, but that's kind of a guideline you could use, but don't take it to the bank. Don't say, oh, Alisa said. The clients that work with us, we do keep an eye on that because we do have a great relationship with the construction managers, and we're out there walking the units every week, and we stay on top of that. So that helps us in the properties we represent to know when to actually start marketing, because generally, if you think about it, if it's an annual renter, the person who's going to be moving in is probably moving from a different rental. Not always. Sometimes they sell their house, sometimes whatever. Like there's all sorts of different people, but generally they're going to be moving from another rental. And so whatever rental they're moving from, they have to give that landlord typically 30 to 60 day notice. So for them to be looking at new properties, they're probably going to be about 60 days out. So just to kind of give you an idea of what to expect. Number 2, to be proactive and to go ahead and start thinking about like what kind of lighting you want, what kind of fans. Some people are more particular than others. We, in our units, like after a lot of trial and error, we found some that are good for price, quality, and performance. They are nice and neutral. They do a good job. They don't seem to break. They're user-friendly. Like they check all those boxes. They don't break the bank. So that's what we've identified, and a lot of our homeowners, they just go with that because it's simple and efficient. Sometimes, like if you are buying a home that you plan to move into, so like our 1031 exchange clients, a lot of times they might buy a single family home and rent it for the first 2 years for the tax implications, and then they move into it in year 3. So those is usually like those type of people that are more particular. They want to select, their fans and their lights and their pendant lights and all that. Maybe they paint the interior. Like there's a lot of different things that are specialized to each owner. So if that's something that is important to you, then you want to make sure that you're preparing for that, because these closings, like let's say if you're closing November 30th, for example, then it's not just you, it's you and probably 200 other people, just depending on where it falls at in the quarterly cycle or the annual cycle. So imagine if there's 200 closings and you are trying to fight to get a vendor, right? So you're trying to get the handyman out there, or you're trying to get an electrician to come hang your lights and fans, or the painter out there to paint the interior if you're going to use it. Whatever that is, then make sure you are ahead of the game and you pre-schedule that person. Because if you wait until you close to schedule it, then they're going to be weeks out. So, and that'll be annoying. So make sure that you do that. And then the other thing that you want to do is start planning from a tax purpose. So some owners, they decide to move their property into an LLC or something like that. So if you're going to do that, you want to go ahead or sometimes they'll put it in a trust, whatever entity. If you're moving it out of your personal name, you want to go ahead and start that ball rolling so that you can be ahead of the game as far as having all that filed with the IRS and all that before it's time to actually start receiving income, right? And then that's also important because you want to make sure that you set up a bank account. So especially on our investment properties, it's very common for homeowners to set up a dedicated bank account so that all the income and expenses are easy to chart for tax purposes. So if you do that, then just go ahead and set that up. You might want to order your checks or whatever. For us, we do everything electronic, or you don't have to, but 90% of the owners do everything electronically. So we offer direct deposit and stuff like that, so it can go straight into that. And then for reporting purposes at the end of the year for taxes and everything, it keeps it nice and clean, very easy to monitor. So a lot of people like that. So if you're going to do that, then just make those plans accordingly. So the last thing you want to do is make sure that you set up a mail forward. So whenever you close, even if you tell the title company you are not going to live there, if you tell them to send your paperwork to your Michigan address or whatever, it doesn't matter. Stuff's going to fall through the cracks and it's going to go to that rental unit. So make sure you go to USPS.com. So that's the United States Postal Service. And then go to mail forward. And then you just click on there and have your mail forwarded to you. So that way you don't miss anything. Like especially that'll come into play with like your association coupon books to make your association payments, stuff like that. But cool thing, if you go online and do it, I think it costs $1, and you have to use a credit card that is associated with either one of the addresses that you have on there, either where it's coming from or going to. If you do that, then it'll automatically spit out coupons at the end. So make sure you say, yes, I want to receive my offers, because sometimes you'll get like 10% off Wayfair. You'll get like U-Haul coupons, sometimes Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. So there's some good coupons in there. So that's a great hack. So don't forget to do that. So if you have any questions about preparing your new unfurnished rental for your unfurnished property for rent, please feel free to reach out, give us a call or text. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the little ringy bell so that you get the notifications. And don't forget to always ask for Alisa, because I've got 3 little kids and they all need new shoes. Have a great day.